Hello ladies and gentlemen, and movie lovers of all kind, and welcome back to the channel. As always, I am your host, Brett Murphy, and for today's video, I have a short and sweet little brand new ranking for you all, as I am going to be ranking all 3 of the Creed movies. So as I'm sure you know by now, the highly anticipated Creed 3 has finally dropped in theaters. And this video is not only a celebration of the release of the movie itself, but also a way to mark the monumentous occasion that is star Michael B. Jordan taking over the director's chair, as this is, yes indeed, his directorial debut. So the question now is this movie a knockout, and how does it compare to its predecessors? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to find out. Before I hop into the actual ranking itself, I just wanted to let you all know that I have an entire playlist dedicated to all of my ranking videos. There is already well over 100 videos currently on that playlist, so if rankings are your thing, then be sure to check that out, and I guarantee you'll find something you like. And so without further ado, let's hop right into things. Number 3. Creed 3. So this may come as a bit of a surprise, if not a complete shock to some people. I have seen and read plenty of reviews, and people seem to simply adore this movie. And don't get me wrong, it being in last place doesn't mean that I don't like it. This is still a damn good movie, a solid, fun, enjoyable time. But I just have more issues with this one than I do with the other two. First things first though, Jonathan Majors is by far the best villain of the 3 Creed movies. This man is continuing his hot streak, becoming one of the biggest rising breakout stars in recent memory. And it truly is his chemistry with star and director Michael B. Jordan that carries this movie. There are really no bad performances either, because Tessa Thompson delivers as always too. This movie also dealt with some pretty hefty themes that I thought were explored quite well. Themes like aging past your prime, parenthood, regret, fear, grief, guilt, and once again I just felt that all of this was navigated fantastically. The boxing scenes, when they're just pure boxing, are absolutely electrifying. They are up close, personal, in your face, and hard hitting. Although I do have to address why I'm saying just pure boxing, because director Michael B. Jordan said that the fight scenes in this particular movie were heavily inspired by anime, and while I think that worked in some instances, I think there were other parts of some of these fights that took it a step too far and actually kind of pulled me out of the movie, because I felt like I wasn't just watching a boxing movie anymore. Nevertheless though, the family elements worked for me, many of the emotional beats totally landed. And if this did happen to be the last Creed movie by chance, it's also an epic and satisfying conclusion. Although I really don't think it's going to be the end. However, all of my issues really do come down to the writing and the story itself. A couple days after seeing it now, I think I've finally been able to hone in on what it is that really sort of set me off. And that's just the fact that a lot of the movie feels so rushed. There are tons of these abrupt little shifts, some things that go completely unmentioned or unexplained, and the movie just really feels like it should have been 15 to 20 minutes, if not more longer. I just felt there was so much in here that should have been given more time to breathe. Nevertheless though, like I said, the positives greatly outweigh the negatives in this situation, but my negatives were just more bothersome to me here than they were in the next two. Number 2. Creed 2. For me personally, and I know this is a bit of an unpopular opinion, but this one actually manages to get almost everything right that its predecessor did. I loved the added family dynamic to this one. It raised the stakes tenfold. I love that Adonis loses that first fight in such epic and glorious and just heartbreaking fashion. I love the back and forth between Adonis and Rocky in this one that really explores their relationship. And Rocky does absolutely not take the backseat here either, as we actually explore things to do with his family and his life more as well. And to top it all off, I loved the Dragos returning. For the most part, I've spoken about the story and the characters here, but I can't go without mentioning how effortlessly and flawlessly Stallone and Jordan managed to work their magic once again. I do feel that the boxing scenes took a bit of a downgrade from that of the first movie, and I think I can really pinpoint it to being the crowd. The crowd just feels so artificial. You can tell a lot of the time that they're shooting on a green or blue screen, and it just feels more over the top and more Rocky-esque and less Creed-esque. Rocky-esque. I also think that with this one being a much more dramatic movie than that of Rocky IV, we could have explored the Dragos a little bit more. The son is really just kind of a big goon that only gets a few lines, and I think there was a lot to explore there with the relationship between father and son, as well as everything that happened with Drago after Rocky IV, just sort of the life that he's been living up to this point, and I also really could have used a few more scenes between Rocky and Drago. Nevertheless though, in my books, this is more than a worthy sequel, and it gets overlooked far too often. Number 1. Creed. This movie is so close to perfection, it's not even funny. The acting, the direction, the soundtrack, the score, the fight scenes, the story, all of it. And speaking about the performances, I have still not forgiven the Academy for not giving Sly his Oscar, because damn it, that man deserved it. I really could sit here all day long and talk about how much I love this first Creed, but of course I do have to address the few issues that I have with it, because I said it managed to come so close to being perfect. I found the villain of this one in particular, Pretty Ricky Conlon, is extremely forgettable. I also forgot that there's really only like one actual boxing match in this movie before the main event, and I think we could have used a little more build up there, even though that one boxing scene is arguably my favorite boxing match on film ever, considering it's meant to look like a one take and it is done so spectacularly. And some, not all, which I cannot stress enough, not all of the relationship scenes between Jordan and Thompson just felt a little forced and uninspired. Like, you could have shaved some of them out of here, and I think the relationship would have worked the exact same way, but tomato, potato, tomato, whatever the other word I can say is. Still, it is easily one of the best sports movies ever made in a damn good legacy sequel. So that is all for today's video, folks. Be sure to let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with my ranking. While you're at it, don't forget to let me know how you would rank all 3 of the Creed movies. If you're a movie lover whatsoever, then my channel is the place to be for you. Be it rankings like this one, top 10s, versus videos, tier videos, I have it all and so much more, with a backlog of now over 700 videos already on the channel for you to enjoy. So if you enjoyed this particular video, then be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if any of that sounds like it's right for you and you want to see more from me, then smash that subscribe button right now. While you're at it, don't forget to ring that little bell icon, that way you can be notified about all of my latest uploads. And as always, stay safe, thank you so much for watching, and that's a wrap. Hey you, yeah you, if you made it this far, just know I appreciate you, and while you're here, consider hitting that subscribe button.